Hey everybody, how are you doing? I'm glad to have you here. I apologize that I did not record in a long time. I've been really busy and sick. I'm still not 100% well, but I just want to sit down and have a little chit chat. Because I asked you what kind of chatty video do you want that is not gaming related, and on Discord and YouTube you voted and chose a personality test. I'm the worst with personality tests because I have a background in psychology. I overthink, over-reflect these questions. So yeah, if you're not into listening to someone making a simple question super complicated, if that would trigger you, it's probably best to leave. Because that's just how I am when I do personality tests. Like, I will look at every question from every angle. It depends on the context, right? Like, oops. Like, I might be a very different person in a very different social environment, like all of us. And I just, I make it complicated for no reason. I like making things simple, but when it comes to psychology, I overthink. I'm not an overthinker on a daily basis, though. Don't worry, I'm fine. So, I put it in dark mode so it's nice on the eye. Speaking about eye, I have a little ouchie underneath my eye. I won't tell you which side, maybe you'll notice, maybe not. It's uncomfortable, it burns. I tried to hide it, but you can see it. I am drinking a tea, and today's tea is this, I don't even know, strawberry cheesecake. It's really cute, the packaging. It's already sweetened, I like it. I love strawberry taste. So, doesn't matter now. Let's start. You regularly make new friends. I'm already struggling here, guys. Regularly? Like, what does that mean? Once a week? Once a month? Once in a while? And friends. Like, a friend to me is like someone that means a lot and someone who's close to me. And friends need attention, and you need to nourish the friendship. So you can't collect friends like Pokemon. So I'm a little bit like, what do you mean by that? I do meet people and I befriend people. Sorry, now I'm saying it as well. I don't befriend them, but like this. How do you call it in English? I'll put the word here. But like meeting people and building a very shallow friendship, yeah. But making actually real friends, often, regularly. With a constant and defined pattern, especially with the same space between individuals, at uniform intervals of time. Oh. That confuses me even more. I think gaming friends, yeah. But not much in real life, because real life friends need a lot of attention. Maybe like this. Or this. Oh yeah, you will see a few flies flying around. I don't know, I'm like a foster home for flies at this point, so, if you want to adopt one, let me know. I'm not sure. Maybe there. I would say between there. Let's just go like this. At the moment, because I'm really busy, I literally talk to the same 5 people. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones. Depends. when we're talking topics I'm not interested in, then give me simple and straightforward. Are we talking about like things I'm really interested in? Then give me complex, right? That's a hard one. I mean, I like simplicity, but okay, you know what? Like, simple things that are complex are nice. Like, it shouldn't be too complex, but it shouldn't be too simple. So maybe like this. You usually feel more persuaded by what resonates emotionally with you than by factual arguments. I think both are important. Like, in some cases, you should not ignore like numbers and statistics and the overall average, but individual stories are very important and should never be ignored. So when it comes to arguments, this is like this typical philosophical thing like we had in philosophy class, where it's like, you know, like do something for the majority, the thing that makes sense, maybe the factual argument, or, you know, like go for something emotional, for like, this is really complicated. I think it depends what it is. It depends what it is. Oof. I am quite an emotional person, but I do think looking at facts is important as well. I think I tend more to the emotional side of things, though. Your living and working spaces are clean and organized. I wish I would be there. I'm not very organized and clean. I would say clean, yeah, organized, no. Like, what means clean? Like, tidy? You know, like chaotic? I'm chaotic. But I'm not dirty. But I'm unorganized. So I guess this works maybe somewhere like there. I mean, if I want to be organized, I'm very organized. But I need to be interested in it. You usually stay calm, even under a lot of pressure. Depends what it is, honestly. I can handle pressure, but I do think I can freak out a little bit. Maybe like in the middle, depends the context. Like, what do they mean by pressure? Like work pressures, like uni pressure, pressure in traffic? Do they mean emotional pressure? I think for most things I could actually say, like, yeah, I do stay calm. I'm looking at the bright side of things. I like to be optimistic, but I can be a little bit passionate sometimes. You find the idea of networking or promoting yourself to strangers very daunting. Yeah, between here, honestly. It's not like to actually network. Oh, I don't know. Maybe like this, I guess. You prioritize and plan tasks efficiently, often completing them before the deadline. Oh, I struggle with deadlines. I got better over the years, but yeah, sadly no. I wish I would be there. If I want to be, I can be really efficient. Also, you can be efficient and still do things relatively late. Like, you prioritize and plan tasks efficiently. I mean, efficiently could also, be that you prioritize things and make tasks efficiently, but you just complete them right before the deadline. Then, yeah. People's stories and emotions speak louder to you than numbers or data. Coming from a background of psychology where you read a lot of papers and you look at numbers, I think both is true. I do definitely believe in listening to people and stories and individual experience, but there's usually as well, like an average. Die Gaußsche Normalverteilung. There's always like a few extremes on the left and right, and then in between, more or less, there's like a standard and average, a norm, if you want to call it that way. And that's where most people will be. It depends the topic. Both important. You like to use organizing tools as schedule list. Yeah. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Not really, no. Maybe for 2 minutes, or 5, or for the fun of being a little bit dramatic and releasing steam. But I bounce pretty quickly back usually. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. See, I would say yes. But I wouldn't usually do it because I don't want to disturb anyone. See, this might be just German culture, but I kind of feel like it's rude. Like someone's listening to music and they're chilling. Maybe they had a hard day or something, and I'm going to them and I'm disturbing them. That's how I feel. But I am someone who likes to compliment people, like strangers, like on their clothes or something. Like just a few days ago, I saw a woman with such a beautiful dress. Guys, it was so stunning. I had to just go to her and be like, your dress is so beautiful. She was really happy. And I was happy I was allowed to see this beautiful dress. I wish I would have it too. So yeah, I feel totally comfortable. I also did it in university a few times where I needed people to cooperate with and I came too late or something, didn't know anyone. I would just go to people and be like, hey, are you free? Are you interested? Are you still looking for someone? So I would say unusual in German culture, but I would definitely feel comfortable, yes. You are not too interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works. I am interested, but not like, oh, sorry, this is I'm not too interested. So I'll have to look at this side. Oh yeah, I like to discuss lyrics of music. Definitely. I love Lana Del Rey. I love talking about her lyrics to friends who are not interested in it whatsoever, and they're like, okay, let me have a look at it. And yeah, then we're having a short conversation about it. And I'm just fangirling over the lyrics. I love good lyrics in music. You prioritize facts over people's feelings when determining, I don't know, a course of action. The way I read it implies that this is in real life because, I would take action in real life after killing people's feelings. You prioritize facts, then no, I would listen to people. You often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all. No, I do have a kind of schedule. I just don't always stick to it. Listen, I love doing schedules, but I don't really follow them. But that's not the question. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. I used to worry. Not anymore. Because people barely know me when they met me, right? And I know first impression is really important, but I'm not getting anything out of thinking it, because it's just not healthy. Either people like me or they don't. If they don't like me, it's sad. They should give me a chance, right? I like to give people the doubt of the benefit. No, the benefit of the doubt. I can't English. And if they made a bad impression, I like to give them several chances. And I hope people give the same to me. You enjoy participating in team-based activities? Yeah. Well, hold on. Team-based activities. Like sports? Gaming? Yeah. But like small teams? Yeah. You enjoy experimenting with new and untested approaches? Yeah, I'm in for a new experiment. I like that. You prioritize being sensitive over being completely honest. Oh, this is such a cultural question, okay? Because I'm coming from a very honest and direct culture, and I live in a part of Germany that is considered very direct in comparison to the national stereotype of being direct. I'm not that direct, but if I speak to British people, they're gonna call me sometimes kind of too direct, but I have a little bit of beef internally. I have nothing against British people, don't get me wrong. If you're British, I love that, but there has been situations where a British friend would ask me something, and I'm answering like, oh, that's nice, super generic, avoiding any confrontation, avoiding saying the truth, and then they would ask me, yeah, but what do you really think? And I'm like, oh no, don't do that to me. If you're asking me what I think, I'll tell you what I think. Then I was like, yeah, it's great, and he I just bought it's a he, whatever, and he would be like, yeah, but are you sure? I'm like, okay, listen, do you want the truth? I can spare you with it. Like, if you ask me for my opinion, I want to be honest. I don't like beating around the bush, so when it comes to that, I guess sometimes we all do. But I feel like in Germany you're being raised to say your opinion. And if you if I would cook something for someone and they would just tell me I don't like it, I wouldn't be offended. I wouldn't take it personal. I would just be like, oh, what do you prefer then? And next time just do what they like, right? So this is just a cultural thing. I do like to be sensitive. But in the context of another culture, someone else might think I'm more on the honest side than on the sensitive side. So this is quite a complicated question. Depends who I talk to, I guess. I do prefer being sensitive, though. I don't think every thought has to be shared. I don't think every opinion has to be shared. I usually like to make sure someone wants to hear my opinion. I wouldn't just randomly say it unless I feel very comfortable with the person. But I would do prioritize. That's the key word here. I guess then we cannot even go there. I do prioritize it. We're only at 30%. I'm so slow. You actively seek out new experiences and knowledge areas to explore. Yeah. You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Not really. Sometimes it's normal, but not that much, no. You enjoy solitary hobbies or activities more than group ones. Ooh. I like to work out alone. I like to have my space and my free time. I like recording videos and editing, which is a solitary hobby, which takes a lot of time. But generally, I like people. I like both. Let's say above the middle. I like both. Ooh, I don't know, somewhere like this, I guess. You cannot imagine yourself writing fictional stories for a living. Or I could imagine doing it. I don't think I would be good at it, though. But let's say I would be good at it. I could imagine myself doing that. It would be just like... Oh yeah, I think it's not just that, it's about the fictional stories. Would I like to write fictional stories? I guess. If I would get paid for it, and I get to hang out in cute cafes and libraries and travel. I don't think it's easy because you need a lot of creativity for that. Like, writing good stories is quite hard. But I could imagine if it would be for a living. It's just not a passion. I guess we can say it like this. You favor efficiency in decisions even if it means disregarding some emotional aspects. No, I don't think efficiency has to be on number one. I think a good balance is great. But I can, like, how do you say that in English? But I would preferably accept a defeat or accept taking a step back or doing an extra step if that would make people comfortable, even if it would mean less efficiency. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. I prefer it. Doesn't mean I do it. Let's go. Like, I prefer it, but I'm not always doing it. So I guess we're going middle. In disagreements, you prioritize proving your point over preserving the feelings of others. I don't really have often disagreements, first of all. I feel bad talking about myself, but this is literally a video about my personality and my experiences, right? So I guess I can. Like, if I would already notice that we're going in different directions, the conversation, the argument, the discussion, whatever, I would quite often be like, hold on, this is a waste of energy and a waste of time, let's stop here. So I don't think I prioritize proving my point. If I would be like, let's stop here. But if someone really says something, for example, when it comes to psychological things, and they're saying something crazy, like really crazy, I might prioritize proving my point. But generally, I would prefer to preserve the feelings. So I guess we got this. You usually wait for others to introduce themselves first at social gatherings. Oh no, I don't mind introducing myself. Your mood can change very quickly. In a meme way, yes. The friend of mine who studied maths with me, I don't think he will ever listen to this, but he saw me going through depression, sadness, happiness, belief, determination in just like 1 minute, probably through all of the stages of different emotions. But it's also kind of for entertainment, I guess. So it takes a bit to change it. It's not quickly. I would say no. You're not easily swayed by emotional arguments. I think I am a bit. You often end up because it is hard when you talk to someone and they're giving you like a very emotional thing. I feel for these people, of course, right? It's hard to stay cold, but I try to like rationalize because I know how emotional I can be, like in certain things, like how much I like try to empathize with people and feel their emotions. I always try to fight back and be like, calm down, come back, calm down. That's why I'm going with this and not with this or this. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment, yeah. Yeah, pretty much, yes. You enjoy debating ethical dilemmas. I do. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. I like both. I think most of us want to also have alone time, but I also like to be around other people. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. If we're speaking maths, yeah. If we're speaking something I'm interested in, no. So generally, it really depends. For example, I knew someone who was interested in philosophy, and he was interested in Kant, the philosopher, not C-U-N-T, but K-A-N-T. And I also read one of the books. I'm not sure if there's several, but I read one of them. And he would always argue everything with like philosopher's standpoints, and I felt like, this is not a philosophy class, this is a modern discussion. This is getting a little bit too theoretical for me, I guess. But if we're talking sociology or psychology, or, you know, like these kind of social sciences that I'm interested in, then I don't mind people bringing up theory, honestly. So I take a middle, depending on the topic. When I overthink the question, I read a discussion. I wouldn't get into a discussion about topics I'm not interested in. Thinking about that, there's one of my fly baby girls. Thinking about that, like if it would be a discussion I'm not interested in, I would definitely get bored if it gets too highly theoretical. I wouldn't discuss about something I'm not interested in or not having knowledge in, because I would feel like, yeah, you're the master. Don't really have a lot of opinions on things that I have no idea about, I guess. So, thinking about that, then no, I don't get bored by theoretical discussions that I'm interested in. When facts and feelings conflict, you usually find yourself following your heart. Yeah. You find it challenging to maintain a consistent work or study schedule. Yes and no. Depends. No, I tend a little bit more to the no. I could be better at it. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. I rarely second guess them because I always believe, I feel cringe saying these things honestly, but I always believe that in the moment I took the decision, it felt like the right thing. So I feel like it's a waste of energy to regret it. And sometimes, you know, like with my hair, when I just bleach it randomly and I hated it, and I had like ginger hair, I still have it actually. I want to make an appointment the next day, so I try to not regret it too much. I try to see it more as a, well, I tried and I failed and I didn't like it. No point in regretting it. Your friends would describe you as lively and outgoing. Depends who you ask, I guess. I have friends where I'm definitely more on the chill side, and then I have friends who see the entire palette of energy. It depends. I guess most people do, yes, but there's definitely people who probably even know a more chill version of me. Also depends on if I drank or not. You are drawn to various forms of creative expression, such as writing. I'd love to be able to write poetry. That's something I want to do. And I used to paint, but I'm not doing that anymore. So I guess it's a disagree, sadly. I wish I would be doing these kind of things more. I think it's so cool when people do. You usually base your choices on objective facts rather than emotional impressions. My choices. Both. You like to have a to-do list for each day. Oh yeah. You rarely feel insecure. I guess we all feel, or most of us will feel insecure here and there. What does rarely mean? Like, not every day, but sometimes. There's a few things, right? I guess in the middle. I don't know what rarely means. I'm not sure what that means. In comparison to others, or I'm not sure what rarely means. Not often. Yeah, well, that could be very subjective, right? Like, I would need to see how often do other people feel insecure. You avoid making phone calls. I don't like doing like phone calls that are like, like health insurance and stuff. Like, I don't like that. I don't mind them, but it's just annoying. I don't like being waiting in the waiting line. Other than that, I don't mind phone calls. I usually avoid them because of how long it takes, yes. You enjoy exploring unfamiliar ideas and viewpoints? Yes, definitely. You can easily connect with people you have just met. I think I'm a little bit hard to get to know. Like, I can make them talk, but I think it's hard for people to connect with me. Like, I can connect with them, but they not with me. Let's say middle. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. I mean, yeah, it's my top priority. I'm not sure how often I'm doing that, though. No, I'm trying to do that. I'm just, a bit dramatic here. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. No. You're not too interested in discussing theories on what the world could look like in the future. I guess I'm more of a person in the here and now. Possibilities are cool, though, but I would preferably talk about, that's not a question though, but I would preferably talk about how can we make things better now than talking about, how could life be, but I do it sometimes with friends. So let's say like disagree a little bit. Do emotions control you more than you control them? I disagree. When making decisions, you focus more on how the affected people might feel than on what is most logical or efficient. Yeah, I do think about the people more. But I do have to say again, this is important as well. And it depends on the context, right? Are we talking about firing someone? Because, yeah, it would hurt to fire someone like a friend or someone who was doing a great job. But keeping that person can also, shorten down the intake and the growth of the business, for example, other people could benefit from that, right? People who work hard and who stay there do you get my point? Keeping someone purely out of friendliness is not the benefit for the greater. I don't know if I'm making sense in English. But yeah. It depends. It really depends. Are we, for example, talking about the university homework, like a group work? You might preferably hurt one person if that benefits the entire group and is more better for the group environment and better for the grade. Like, it just depends on so many factors. I don't know. But yeah, I would think of the people for, I don't know. It just depends. It depends. I wish there would be like an in-between answer. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent effort. I have never energy, so I have to force myself by organized efforts. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it takes. I used to think that. Sorry, I didn't finish. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. I used to feel like that. Highly, like extremely. Not anymore that much. Sometimes. Depends who it is, I guess. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. That's my job at the moment. I work 95% of the time alone. I like it, but I would be happy to have a little bit more. Like, I enjoy, like, working with customers, doing, like, interviews and stuff like that. That's fun. I like working in a group, that's fun too. But I also like working alone, so let's just go middle. I like both. I actually like a little bit more alone work than, like, if I would need to choose between working alone 90% of the time or working to 90% of the time with other people, at the moment, I'd prefer the alone thing. Might change in a few years. You believe that pondering abstract philosophic questions is a waste of time? I don't think so. You feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres than to quiet, intimate places. I like both, depending on the day. But if I have to choose one, see, I love every now and then to be in a big city, to be where the people are, to be in a full park. But I think generally I do prefer a quiet, intimate place. So let's choose the intimate, quiet place. Like, it makes us good. Let's say this 30% of the time and this 70% of the time. Guys, I messed up. Oh, good. Oh, I thought everything's lost. If a decision feels right to you, you often act on it without needing further proof. I like to discuss my decisions with at least 5 people. So I don't know what they mean by proof. But I can also be impulsive and just do something. Like, it's just so random with me. I don't know, I can't answer this. You often feel overwhelmed. Not really. Sometimes, yes. I guess in the middle. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. Yeah, if I have a method, I will stick to it. I like it. You prefer tasks because I keep on forgetting everything. I'm a very scatterbrained. So I love lists and I love methods and I love following that. But freestyling is fun too. But then I usually just end up writing lists anyways, because, again, I will forget if I don't. You prefer tasks that require you to come up with creative solutions rather than follow concrete. I do prefer that because then I know that I did it. But I also like that. That's also fun. I like both. But I do prefer this. You are more likely to rely on emotion and intuition than logical reasoning when making a choice. By the way, if I look very tired, it is because I am very tired. Super tired. Both, again. You struggle with deadlines. I do. You feel confident that things will work out for you. Yeah, I do. Things will be fine. INFJ? I didn't expect that. Oh, look at this. I'm leaning a slightly bit more introverted. I think that's true. I feel like I'm a very either introverted extrovert or kind of like an extroverted introvert. What? Introvert extrovert? An extrovert introvert, yes. But I do in general, when I compare myself to friends or people who are very like extrovert, very outgoing, I'm like, I'm such an introvert in comparison to them. But then hanging out with introverted people, like crazy introverted, I feel so extroverted. So I feel like this is right, definitely in the middle, with a hint towards introversion. You're likely very imaginative and open-minded, definitely open-minded, focusing on hidden meanings and distant possibilities. Yeah, I guess, if you say so. You'll like value, emotion expression, sensitivity, prioritizing empathy, social harmony, and cooperation. I agree. And that is what I don't like about these questions. I feel like they didn't really ask much about empathy or sensitivity or social harmony, because I'm a very sensitive person. And I do have a lot of empathy and I can put myself in shoes of others, and I love harmony. I hate conflicts. But the questions they were asking, I don't know. So, yeah. You're likely organized, decided for You're like even-tempered and resistant to stress, refusing to worry too much. Yeah, I would have probably seen myself a bit more here. Let's read this. As an INFJ, you possess a unique combination of idealism and insight that sets you apart in today's world. Your rich inner life is characterized by complex emotions, vivid imagination, and a deep well of empathy that allows you to connect with others on a profound level. You have an unwavering commitment to your principles and an intense desire to make a positive impact on the world around you. Your natural ability to understand and interpret the feelings and motivations of others is both a gift and a challenge. While it enables you to form deep, meaningful connections and offer invaluable support to those around you, it can also leave you feeling overwhelmed by the emotions, that part's definitely true, and needs of others. You often find yourself torn between your desire to help and your need for privacy and solitude. That sentence is so true. I got much better in the last years to not live for others. I used to be very surrendering of my own feelings and emotions in person, just do everything for others and make them happy. But I worked really well on that. I just wanted to see what Boo says. I'm not going to read everything, I think. Insightful, inspiring, well-spoken, decisive, determined, I can say this word, passionate, altruistic, loyal, principled, compassionate. Sensitive, extremely private, perfectionistic, always need to have a cause, can burn out easily, overlooks details, conflict averse. The weaknesses are definitely true. I feel like the strengths are a little bit I don't know, definitely determined, passionate, compassionate, well-spoken. I don't know about that one, but maybe. Insightful, yeah. I tried my hardest to answer truthfully and overthink every single thing. You tell me, I don't know enough about these personality tests. You tell me if that makes sense to you. If you saw me there, I don't know. Thank you for joining. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of people watching this video, but thank you to those who do. It makes me feel like you're interested in me as a person and my personality. That means so much to me. And yeah, I'm gonna be back with gaming content soon again. And have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye bye.